Maestro styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.
What up, folks? Happy New Year. Glad to be back. The year 2025, and also a brand new episode of the Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. That's my brother Maestro Styles. I'm Trey Frazier.
Yes, sir.
We are live streaming on our YouTube channel, IG, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. Bro, Happy New Year, man. What's going on?
Happy New Year to you, man. How was your holiday? Y'all went all around the nation, man.
Oh man, Orlando was great, man. Orlando was great. The Knicks game we went to that Friday night in Orlando against the Magic, that was dope. Bunch of Knicks fans in the building, got the win, more importantly, so that was cool. I mean, you know, sports-wise, you know, it was a great holiday week. I'm sure it's not the same for you, sports-wise. But the family time, that was perfect. Actually had to, you know, visit Miami for a day Thursday. Okay. So that was cool. That was a, you know, 4-hour, ended up being like a 4-hour ride there, probably 3 hours back to Orlando. So that was, you know, that was cool. Had to go check out some fam and stuff like that. So how about you, man? How's the fam?
Fam is good, man. I'm glad that the holiday is over and we can get back to some sense of normalcy, because Christmas normally is just a reminder that I got more work to do.
I hear you, man.
I did rest. But I did get rest, and
that's good.
And I'm thankful. I did get a lot of rest. Some stressful times too, but I did get some rest. I think I got a pretty good idea and perspective of how I need to you know, handle things. I kind of, you know, I wouldn't call it a vision board, but kind of a goal board to, you know, try to keep me focused in the year. And I think the theme of this year for me has been getting in position for you know, for whatever is to come. You know what I'm saying? So I've been really last year, you know, just getting hip and, you know, getting acclimated to some things. And I think now you know, it's time to, you know, get in position for the next level. And with everything, including the podcast, you know, like every you know.
Yeah, definitely, man. You know, some people think that, you know, we get on here and we just talk sports, but we do a lot of things behind the scenes, and, you know, whether it's trying to, you know, get guests to come on or just ideas and, you know, creative ways to, you know, make the podcast better, you know, always working, always got my mind, you know, thinking about, you know, what's coming up and things like that. But you'd be proud of me, man. I did 30 minutes on the treadmill yesterday.
That's what I'm talking about. Yes, sir. Yeah. Look, man, 30 minutes and get a mild sweat, man. I'm telling you, do that with a decent diet, man. I'm telling you, man. Another thing is I'm getting down to 210 pounds, 200 pounds, somewhere between 200 and 210. Yeah, I'm getting there. That's another goal. That's another goal of mine.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. I like to hear that, man. Yeah. And I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna get back on this treadmill. I actually got to see whether it's best to do it, you know, in the evening or, you know, early afternoon. So far, it's been kind of, you know, late evening ish. So so far that's kind of been working out for me. But yeah, man, you know, treadmill with the water. I even, you know, got some weights. You know, I had weights in the hand and as I was on the treadmill, so that kind of helped out as well. Doing some arm curls and things like that. So it's working out, man. It's, you know, it was day one, but it was a very, very productive day. And you talked about the diet. I had some fruit yesterday. I didn't eat meat at all. I had a bunch of water. So we'll see.
One day at a time, man. One day at a time. And even if you fuck up one day, go back the next day. So
that's the key. is when you feel like you're in an urge for something and you got to take it. It's about trying to get back to a diet routine, be able to help with the with all that stuff. But that's where the discipline for me has to start to manifest in itself.
Yeah.
Because I eat a slice of pizza, man, I'm gonna want like 2 more slices, bro. Like, I ain't gonna lie.
You seen me when I was over there. You some like
yeah, for real. But I got some quick hitters, man. To kind of get started here. We've been gone a couple weeks, 2.5 weeks. I know a lot's happened, but I'm not gonna go into a lot of stuff, just some important stuff that's happened. I'm gonna start with college football. Deshaun Jackson got a head coaching job.
Yeah.
Delaware State University. Does it?
Keziah goes there.
Yep. Okay. That's what's up. Congratulations to Deshaun Jackson.
I also saw that they're like the first HBCU to get like a Croc branding or something on it. Like, yeah, I just saw that somewhere today. So shout out to Delaware State doing big things over there.
In addition to that, they already signed the recruit Antonio Gates Jr. to the squad. So that's a good look. Son of a Hall of Fame, or soon to be Hall of Fame NFL legend in Antonio Gates. So, dope stuff right there. So I love this, man. Michael Vick gets the job at Norfolk State. Deshaun Jackson, gets the Delaware State University.
Got to start somewhere. I'm telling you, man. You start somewhere, and what these guys need to be in football spaces. They football,
sure.
No shade to the guys who've been doing it for however long, but it's just time for some new blood to get into some of these positions, man. So definitely shout out to Vic and Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah, for sure, man.
And that's a nice campus, man. I mean, it's college, but it's a nice campus. I ain't been on a million campuses in my life, but it's a nice campus, man. When I took her to school in August, she took me around a little bit, just as she was handling her business, and it's a nice school, man.
No, that's what's up. That's what's up. You thinking about potentially maybe getting to some games, maybe? Or maybe I just threw that idea out there.
I mean, that was a good shot. That was a good shot, man. I mean, look, man. I don't know what the future has for me. I will say this. Honestly, no shade to Deshaun Jackson. That don't move the needle for me to make me feel like, ooh, let me go there. Let me drive 2 hours to see what's up with it. But I don't know, man. Maybe. Yeah, you never know, man. Last time I was down there, I told her, yeah, man, let me know when homecoming is. I'm gonna pull up, and I was lying. I was never gonna pull up.
Damn.
I'm sorry. Look, I was lying. I was lying. I think she knew I was lying. I don't think she.
You could have been doing some behind the scenes podcast work.
I don't know
at an event like that.
You're probably right, man. But I don't know these days. Look, I'm growing, man. I don't know these niggas.
It's funny because going back to the Magic Knicks game I went to on Friday at the Magic Arena. So mom got us seats right next to where I guess the beat reporters do their thing at and stuff like that. Okay. So I'm sitting in the aisle seat, and mom is maybe 8 seats down because my cousins, my aunt came also along with Debbie and the kids. And so she's like hollering at me from a distance, was like, yo, she was like, hey, you need to be over there, pointing towards where the beat reporters and stuff is, doing work at and stuff. And I'm kind of, yeah, that would be, ideal. But in my head, like, these dudes is working. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that that's the moment to where I'm, trying to be like,
oh, hey, you took that as she mentioned network. Basically. Oh, yeah. I thought she was saying that you need to be there, like you needed to be a beat reporter. And I was thinking in the back of my mind, that ain't that ain't what I.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not looking for no beat reporting job. She was saying to network, and that's cool and all that. Yeah. But I just like, at that moment during the game when they trying to, type up their reports and, do all that stuff, it's like, that ain't
Yeah,
that's not the during the game, that's not the moment. Now, after the game, potentially you got to be quick about it because then they got to go downstairs to the locker rooms and, do their interviews and all that kind of a stuff. So it's just like, it's just one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could say what's up, for like maybe a few seconds, maybe exchange some business card information, but to carry on a 5-minute conversation at that moment just wasn't going to be feasible. So, so yeah, but that's kind of the behind the scenes podcast networking kind of a thing that I've been talking about. But in this case, going to a Delaware State University game, there's possibilities. I'll just say that.
Sure.
There's possibilities.
Sure.
But then you got to get up there too.
Yeah,
you got to get up there.
That ride was not pleasurable. That drive was not pleasurable, and the drive home was even worse.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah, normally, but I went so early, but the drive home was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah. Hey, how much you been paying attention to this college football playoff?
Not at all.
Okay. That's all right. That's all right, because I really just don't have much. I will just say that this 12-team playoff system sucks because all the games, with the exception of one yesterday, sucks. Teams getting blown out. Some teams don't belong in the playoffs. And this game that's going on right now, it sucks, man. Like, these are some of the, like, even with some of the usual suspects, like Georgia's losing to Notre Dame right now by about 2 scores.
Yeah, I was scrolling through social media coming in, and before we came into the podcast, and I seen Oregon got smashed by Ohio State. It was a couple of other ones I saw. I'm just like, yeah, all right, cool.
Boise State, because that's been a team people have been
talking about,
fearful of putting in like the 4-team when it was 4 teams at the time, and now they was a 3 seed. I don't know if you like picked up on that, but Boise State was a 3 seed, and they got
their boot smoke. Yeah, with that running back that everybody been Barry Sanders have been Barry Sanders been talking about him or whatever.
Yep.
They got their boot smoke. I saw.
He's good though. I think he's gonna be a top 10 pick.
Sure, God bless, but I mean, he got his I just saw the graphic of them talking about how good he's been in a year, but how he was kept in check. He was, he didn't do good.
Yeah,
he didn't do good. So, shout out to him though.
Yep. So I don't know what they're gonna do about this system, bro. They're gonna have to just.
I mean, do you think is that like the universal conversation that this 12-team system is bad, or is that more so just your personal opinion?
It's both. I think.
Okay.
I think the first weekend, like the first 4, while the other top 4 had their bye weeks, I think that round overall, I mean, all the games were bad. They were all, blowouts. And then even this round, you had 3 games. It's about to be this 4th game here, with the exception of Arizona State yesterday. Arizona State, held their own with that running back that I never heard of before. Scatterbo, I think is his name.
Yeah. When it felt like he should have been in the Heisman conversation. Something
like that, yeah. They gave him MVP of the game yesterday, and the team lost, which is a bit crazy to me. But nonetheless, Arizona State was the only loser, I think, throughout these whole playoffs to really kind of hold their own against Texas. So I don't know, man. They don't have to figure this thing out, man. I think I've learned ever since we had the conversation with Rita and Chels about college football is that I think I can't commit to college football like the way that they can. You know what I mean? Like, there's just too many things to do on a Saturday that just, I might catch one game maybe once every 2 weeks, but and maybe the playoffs when the stakes is a little higher, but I can't commit to that. Now, if somebody get me tickets or something, like somebody be like, "Hey, Trey, you want to go to a game?" Hey, I might go to a game, but to sit there and like faithfully watch college
bro. I'm
football,
sorry, man.
I can't do it.
I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
I can't do it.
It don't move me, man. I don't know. Just don't move me. I get, I guess I'm not a real fan of football. I guess I don't know. If somebody came in here, well, you can't watch college, because I've seen that before. Well, you can't be no real football fan if you don't watch college football. All right, whatever, bro.
Nah, it's nah. And I think for me, because I didn't grow up watching college football, that doesn't help the cause either. So,
but there was a time in my younger 20s where I was just happy to be watching anything on TV where I was a little more engaged. But I don't know. Life be lifing. Life be lifing, man.
For real.
Can I just talk about Pittsburgh real quick? Just go ahead and get this out of my system. Obviously we had our 3 games in 10 days stretch, and we lost all 3. And look, man, and not only did we lose all 3, we got our ass whooped all 3. Yeah. And that's enough for me to just go ahead and wipe my hands with them for the season. Porter was
even clinching the playoff spot.
Well, but look, man, I expected to get to the playoffs. I expected that. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I was having this conversation about an hour ago, and I was telling somebody about how, like I just wiped my hands with them for the season. It was like, well, you made the playoffs, and that's cool. And
I thought you tweaked that, by the way, too. That game wrapped up.
Because, bruh, these are the teams that you gotta at least be competitive with. These past 3 games are the teams that you gotta at least be competitive with to think you got a chance to do anything to make any noise in the playoffs.
Yep.
And you got smoked by all 3 teams. I don't care about George Pickens being injured. I don't care about TJ Watt not being 100%. I don't care about Joey Porter being in and out. I don't care. We got our boots smoked every single game against competition that could be Super Bowl bound.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
now what if y'all I mean, look, because the Texans, that's another team that has kind of losing Nico Collins, we know what that does for a team, but we went in there on Christmas and smoked the hell out of the Texans 31-2. And you look at the Texans, who've clinched a playoff spot, won a division. They're going to be the 4 seed.
Yep.
Chances are Pittsburgh's going to be the 5 if things kind of go as planned.
If we get a playoff win, great. Okay. But look, man. Like I'm sport. I know this has been the case in the past, 10 years. But damn, it's been 10 years. But one playoff win. All right, cool. Like I'm happy that Tomlin got that criticism off his back, but at the same time, bro, like we ain't talking about. I'm like Pittsburgh. We won Super Bowls, man. I want to know when we're ready to compete for a Super Bowl.
Let's revisit this. Can we revisit this? So
sure.
Expectations at the start of the season for Pittsburgh
was to win a playoff game.
Okay,
those were my expectations, was to get into the playoffs and win a playoff game, and obviously win a division, which clearly we're not going to win now either.
Okay, so you'll meet one of the 2 expectations.
Yes.
Worst case.
Well, no. We don't know. We don't, because
we still have to play. Yes, the Ravens still have to play.
Well, no. Well, I think they starting Bailey. The Browns are starting Bailey Zappi. Unless y'all benching everybody.
Went up to 20.
Yeah, like unless y'all benching everybody, like bro, the Browns are not beating y'all. I'm more concerned about. Yes, I wanted the division, but I was more concerned about a playoff win than the division. If I'm being honest.
Okay. So that goal is still reachable.
It's still in honesty, both goals are still reachable. Mm-hmm. But I mean, I don't think we're going to win a division. And depending on who we draw, and if we draw Houston,
Texans,
I mean that might be the best chance to get a game.
Right.
Yeah, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I'm not really excited about. Of course, I'll watch. Of course, I'll root, and all these. But I'm hands washed. I'm done with them. I'm done with them for the year. We are not. I thought we were a little better than we showed in the past 3 games.
Yeah, but like you said, it's the competition. It's not the Jets, it's not the Giants, it's not. And I don't want to put the Commanders in that same class as the Jets and the Giants. I think they're better than they're not those 2 teams, but the Commanders aren't also Baltimore, Philly, and Kansas City either.
Right,
so
right.
So
we're just, like they're right outside the top 10 teams.
You're probably right.
And
maybe right there with the Commanders.
Right, right. Yeah, we're probably about the same trajectory, 10, 11, however you want to place them. I think the Commanders, because of Jayden Daniels, might be a little bit better than us right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't. Yeah, like they might be a little bit better, maybe. But we ain't got them. We ain't got the Commanders going much further in the NFC than we got the Steelers going in the AFC. So we might get a game, they might get a game, and then it's on with the big dogs. We just not big dog teams yet.
What up, Steven?
What up, man?
Shout out to your cousin right there.
And look, and right. Thank you. Y'all gotta stop this, and that's what, and I gotta deal with this a lot. It's only a few logical Commanders fans there. Like, bruh, y'all was a trash team last year, and now y'all a playoff team.
Mm-hmm.
Like
exceeded the expectations.
Take the win.
Far exceeded it.
Take the win, dog. Take the win. My God. Like, y'all crazy? Y'all have a franchise quarterback and still got cap space next year. Are y'all crazy? Like, y'all in a good space. It's just, y'all was expecting to go from trash team to Super Bowl team in the course of a year. Yeah. Like, that's
unrealistic.
Yeah, it's just not realistic, man. Like, y'all, this is a good projection. Y'all did a good job. Y'all overachieving. Focus on building that team, i.e., getting another receiver, and let it be that.
Yeah,
let it be that.
I thought that they would be a surprise playoff team in the NFC just because of the smart moves they made, the new ownership, the change at quarterback, and here we are 11-5, and they doing they did some great things this year.
The only thing that baffles me about the Commanders is I don't know if the offensive line is making Jayden Daniels good or Jayden Daniels is making the offensive line good.
Well, I think the line has gotten better, but I do think it's both. I do think Jayden Daniels makes them better than what they are, but I also think that through some of their games they have improved on the line play. I think they've improved on it. I think their run blocking could be better. Like, I don't know that they run the ball all that well based on what I've watched over the course of the year. I don't think they run block is great in terms of the run game.
I don't know where they rank. I think Brian Robinson's been had some injuries, so I know he's been out a few games. And maybe that got something to do with it. I would say they're about middle of the pack.
Okay, that's what I figured.
About middle of the pack. Yeah,
that's what I figured. And since we kind of touching on the Commanders for a bit, great game between them and the Falcons the other night. I will just say this about the Falcons because they controlled that first half, and I thought the turning point in that game. I'm not sure if you watched Maestro, but the turning point was they come out in the second half. The Commanders are driving and they lose yardage on I think the first couple plays, and they're in a 3rd and 22. And I forget number 55. I think it's number 55 for Atlanta, but he got called for illegal contact down the field on a 3rd and 22 when the Falcons were about to get off the field, and the refs threw the flag on it, first down. And from that point on, the Commanders just march down the field and score. And their second possession, the same thing. They had like the 15-play drive. They score, they take the lead, and Raheem Morris, man, like you, dude, wanted you to get that job, that second chance at a head coaching job, but bro, 2 timeouts and you don't use it in the latter part of the game. Like they should have won that. Like the Falcons should have won that game. But it was 40 seconds. Penix and I thought Penix he overthrew his receivers a lot in this game. But he made like the throws that he had to make, like in crunch time, he made them. But with the time management stuff, 2 timeouts, 40 seconds left after the one throw, which I think was 30 yards, he didn't call timeout. Let that clock go to 12 seconds for another play, and the kicker, and I didn't even know the homeboy Young Wei. I call him Young Ho, but I think it's Young Wei. He wasn't available for the game. The kicker, he misses a 58-yarder. I mean, he was accurate, but he fell short.
Yeah,
now imagine if you call timeout after the 30-yard catch. Yeah, and you get the kicker a little closer. He makes that, and y'all get out of there with a win, and y'all got a chance to win the NFC South. But here we are.
Fire him then?
No, but when you on a national stage, man, those mistakes are so clarifying, bro. People talking about it on a national viewpoint. It's crazy. People talking about, oh, he was never a good coach to begin with, and blah, blah, blah.
Well,
look, the record speaks for itself. He wasn't good in Tampa, but I think there were a lot of coaches before him and after him that couldn't do much with the Buccaneers when they was going through their, you know know what I mean? So I can't put it all on him, but yeah, that's not good, man. And then he tried to blame the quarterback for it. Like, didn't take no accountability for it. It's like, dude, you actually thought that the team was like, after a 30-yard pass, that they was gonna get right to the line of scrimmage quickly? Like, that was wild to me when he said that. So
yeah. So I think the last time we were on, or maybe the time before, I said to you that there was no way that Michael Penix was going to play this year. And literally the second we got off the damn podcast,
yes.
It was announced that Kirk Cousins was going to be benched for Michael Penix. Let me be clear. Kirk Cousins is not going to be an Atlanta Falcon next year.
Oh, they're already talking about getting away out of the contract. And
it's $65 million they're going to have to eat. Yeah, they're about to eat $65 million.
Yeah, that's on the general manager. If they decide they want to part ways with him, then that's what you get, bro.
Unless they get a trade, and I saw somewhere, obviously it depends on who, where, for what. That they could get into a situation where they could trade and then end up only over like 37 million, and that's obviously like an average or some shit like that. But he's gone.
Well, our friends up in the Bay Area have talked about this romance between Kyle Shanahan and Kirk Cousins.
They not doing that though.
I don't know that.
There ain't no way. Ain't no way in hell they doing that. Ain't no way in hell.
I'd be shocked. To be honest with you, I'd be shocked if
I've seen crazier things. But it's no way in hell that's happening. That's no way. And if they do that, then fired Lynch and Shanahan when it don't go the way they wanted to go, because it ain't going to go the way they wanted to go.
Yeah, right.
It ain't going to go the way they wanted to go.
Right. With the quarterbacks they've had, it hasn't gone the way they wanted to go.
Look, Brock Purdy's fine, man. Leave him alone. Let people get healthy next year, they'll be right back in the conversation. But that is not happening.
No.
That is not happening.
Yeah, for real.
I wonder where he would play.
Kirk Cousins
next year. Jacksonville.
I've heard Cleveland being thrown out there, but Cleveland just
They restructured
did
the
something
Sean.
over the break where they restructured the contract, and now I had to rethink it because I'm thinking, damn, like y'all really gonna keep this guy, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's gonna be the starter week 1 next year. It just all it really just means is that they've just restructured it, and
Right.
maybe there's a better way out of the deal via trade. So
Yeah, I don't think Deshaun Watson is a Cleveland Brown next year.
yeah, so I had to rethink that moment, but yeah, it's kind of I thought it was malpractice at first, given who the franchise is, but it doesn't necessarily mean that he's going to start week 1 for them. So I've heard Cleveland being a spot for Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins in New York, the Giants.
The Giants, they think about Drew Lock.
They ain't thinking about no damn Drew Lock for real. Garrett Wilson don't want to play with the Jets if Aaron Rodgers come back. You heard that?
Yeah, I've heard that. He might retire, is what I heard Aaron Rodgers say. Look, go ahead, get your 500 touchdown this Sunday, and call it quits, man. Call it quits, man. And Devontae, he ain't gonna want to stay there if Rodgers is gone. So, that team just needs a overhaul.
But that's crazy because they thought that's what they was trying to do 2 years ago. And I told you, man, Aaron Rodgers, I wasn't super confident about that one, man.
Mm-hmm. But it's easy to be not confident now because
I wasn't
he's
super
41
confident about it
and he's coming off the Achilles injury.
I wasn't super confident about it when he first got there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I wasn't,
right. He had to show you to make
Yeah,
I got you. I got you. But it definitely was easy to, kind of give up on him now, given, he's coming off that injury.
Well, I haven't said for the past 2 months that boy washed. So
and it's not like the numbers is terrible. Like the numbers they're good numbers. It's just below his standards.
Yeah, bro. And when you put the team on his back, which you did, I don't care. But I get that you brung old Devontae Adams over there. I get it. You got young Garrett Wilson. Y'all put that team on until y'all gave him the keys and said, "Get it for us." That's what y'all did.
They quit week 5, man. When they fired the coach, and I'm not pretending that Saleh is a good head coach, but that was not the move to make.
And truth be told, and like I said, like I don't think no coach that right now is going to walk in there and turn that around in 2-3 seasons.
Right. Yeah, I mean that's a complete overhaul. They got to figure out what they got in some of them guys there. Jordan Travis is still there, the Florida State quarterback that they drafted the past offseason. So they got to see what they got in him. Whoever wants to take that job. It's not an attractive place to be. It's
not an attractive job.
Especially with the report that came out about Woody Johnson and his teenage sons having decision-making ideas and basing those decisions off of what his sons are saying.
Oh, Madden. Talking about Madden ratings and shit. Yeah, okay.
Madden ratings. Yeah, I forget who the player was. Was it Jerry Jeudy? I think
they didn't want Jerry Jeudy because his Madden rating was too low.
Yeah. sad.
Meanwhile,
state of affairs,
Slim was cooking in Cleveland. Imagine if he had, an Aaron Rodgers that's smart enough to throw it in the air.
Yeah, right. Crazy stuff, man. Speaking of coaches, I want to jump to the NBA for a minute. Mike Brown got fired from the Sacramento Kings last week, which, I think we kind of talked about this. I think maybe it was the off season. There was some rumors that the Kings was looking to move on from him. I kind of disagreed with it if that was the thought. Like the dude did take y'all to the playoffs.
Yeah.
His first year, y'all was a 3 seed. Y'all won 48 games that year. Took the Warriors, a tough 7-game series, and they backed it up with 2 less wins, but they dropped in the standings, ended up being a play-in team and wasn't able to make the final 8 in the traditional, playoffs, whatever. So this year, what are they, like 14 and 19 or something like that?
Nigga, I don't know.
They're like right now,
Yeah.
they're like out of the top 10 in the West.
You know what, Bob? Concerned me, because I remember when we did our projections last year, and you seemed surprised about the fact that I didn't have them being a playoff team. And what was kind of like they called lightning in the bottle that first year, because we was talking about, you remember who we was talking about that year? Kevin Herter.
Yeah. We
was talking about Kevin Herter like he was the best thing since sliced bread. And I'm sitting here and I remember sitting there thinking like, all right, he cooking now. And congrats.
He played his role though. He played his role because he did the same thing with the Hawks.
Yeah, but he was scoring more. He was scoring more points.
He definitely was scoring more. He definitely was scoring more.
Like he was a borderline all-star that year. I don't know if he made the actual all-star game.
Right. He won the number 1. He won the number 2. I thought he fulfilled his role well. His points per game did go up, but we wasn't talking about him like he was the Aaron Fox or anything like that.
Man, that first year, I remember Kevin Durant going on a podcast and saying Kevin Herter is the best ball player right now at whatever that moment in time was at that point of the year that year.
Yeah.
And he was like, the way he was giving praise to Kevin Herter, it made me watch him a little bit that year. And I'm like, okay, yeah, he definitely, because dude was definitely balling. But I always thought, like, he ain't about to keep this up.
Probably not. But
yeah, like, he ain't about to keep this up.
But do you think that Kevin Herter's, there probably is a decline. I don't know what his numbers are this year.
Yeah, neither do I, but I'm 100% sure that there was a decline or an injury or something.
I don't think the reason for their slow start this year is because of Kevin Herter. I don't think it's that.
Oh, I know it ain't, because like I said, they took a drop, and I get that the West, because I remember talking about it last year. I get that the West Coast, if you take a 3-game on the Western Conference, if you take a 3-game drop, you in the AFC, you're right.
Yeah, but sure,
but we all know in the Western Conference that's all it takes. So sure we could say, but if you go from 3 to 9, no matter how many games is in between, that's a major drop as far as status. Sure. Like that team isn't the same team. I'm sorry that the threshold is something short, like 3 games, but at the end of the day, you can't be a 3 seed and to go from a 3 seed to a 9 seed and miss the playoffs, and us not say there's been some layoff, some letdown.
Yeah.
And Kevin Herter is definitely a part of that letdown. Maybe De'Aaron Fox is De'Aaron Fox. Yeah. But as far as that secondary score, that first year it was Kevin Herter, and I believe they had expectations for him to be that second scorer again.
And you had Malik Monk come off the bench. He was giving you some points too. That dude, Keegan Murray, was good for them that year also.
Yeah.
And, Sabonis is Sabonis. He's going to give you.
But he's not a big offensive dude. Yeah, but he's not a big offensive dude. Yeah.
Not a big offensive dude, but he was going to give you the defense. He was going to get you the 15.
Yeah.
The 17 points a game, double-digit boards and things like that. So I'll just kind of cut to the chase here, because there's 2 ways I think you could feel about the situation with Mike Brown. I don't think, and shout out to Doug Christie, because he's the interim coach, and I think this is his first, right? And I think this is his first stint as some form of,
I'm
head
sure
coach
that's the case,
or something like that, interim or the main guy.
I'm sure
so shout out to him for that.
Yeah.
I don't think, me personally, I don't think changing the head coach is going to get them to the playoffs.
Oh, it ain't.
I think what the Kings thought in the offseason is why they got DeRozan in the offseason, because I think they knew this past offseason, I think they knew, damn, even with 46 wins and us not being in the final 8, the only way we're gonna compete is if we, upgrade the roster.
Mm-hmm.
So they thought, hey, let's bring DeMar DeRozan in, and I think we good to go. Obviously, it hasn't worked out. I don't know if it's, and I haven't watched a lot of Kings games, but it sounds to me like maybe the Aaron Fox, DeMar DeRozan combo maybe just doesn't fit well.
Yeah, but
is
it's
my
early.
guess.
It's early though. I'll
Sure,
say that it's early.
sure. It's definitely early, but you're number 12 in the West right now. And I get it. All it takes is maybe a 5-game win streak and maybe a jump to number 8. I get it.
Hell,
West is
you might jump to
crazy.
number 4.
Yeah, the West is crazy. I mean, the Suns are right outside that, top 10 right now. Also, I think they're like 500 right now. Sucks for Mike Brown. He'll get a job elsewhere, I'm sure.
Come on to Washington, bro. Change it. Come on, man.
Yeah, because he'll get in your face. Like I've seen some cuts where in them Kings practices, like when they be like doing filming and stuff, he be getting the niggas' asses. Pause.
He a good coach though. So, he a good coach, man. Get him. Come on to Washington, man. Come on to Washington, man.
Definitely a good coach for sure. So he'll get back on his feet. But right now, that year, that number 3 seeded Kings team from a couple years ago, right now it's a fluke kind of a year for them until they can prove that they could get it back on track.
Yeah, I'm just gonna mark it up as a fluke year. Shout out to them though for that year.
Yeah, for sure. What else you got? You got another quick hitter?
I think I did. We got. I want to know. Shout out to Bronny James who committed to Arizona.
Not Bronny. Bryce.
Bryce. I'm sorry. I wrote Bronny and meant to say Bryce. I'm sorry because Bronny obviously plays in the NBA. But yeah, shout out to Bryce committing to Arizona via IG. I want to know though. I saw this on Twitter. Why Nick Sirianni it was about to fight Zach Ertz. Did you ever hear about that?
No, I didn't hear about that.
I didn't find this. I couldn't find the story. So
was this after their matchup?
After the matchup, yes. After the matchup a couple of weeks ago. I did want to. I was hoping that you knew about it, but if you don't, forget it.
Nah. So was Ertz still the Eagle when Sirianni took the job?
I feel like he was there that last year. Last year. I feel like he was there.
I do too, because he had a stop in Arizona and then he came to Washington.
Yeah,
so that's about the past couple seasons. So I feel like
that
was there when Sirianni was there.
I feel that way. Huh. Yeah, so I wonder what that was about. I saw something saying that security had to get in between them, and there was So I wonder what that was about. And who got the Flames? Somebody in Houston smacked the Flames out somebody, and or threw them on the ground or something. In the NBA, it was in the NBA.
Oh. It was Amen Thompson threw down Tyler Hero.
Tyler Hero. Oh, that's what it was. I just got finished talking to a Heat fan time about how Hero got flames slapped out of him.
Tyler Hero, he ain't want no parts of that. He was barking, but he ain't want no smoke on that. And while we talking NBA, thoughts and prayers to Jaden Ivey. He I think he broke his leg. Yesterday's game against the Magic, it was gruesome. Yeah, they had to cart him off the field and off the court and stuff. But it looks like he's going to miss the rest of the year. And he was playing pretty good, man. He was averaging, I think, about 17, 18 points a game, kind of helping the Pistons, kind of resurge a little bit. They played some pretty good ball, compared to their previous seasons. So sucks for them, sucks for him. Speedy recovery, get well soon on that. Absolutely.
Is it more important? We got off the Eagles, but we're gonna get right back on the Eagles conversation. What's more important, man? Is it important for Saquon to break this record, or is it more important to have them rest?
They robbing us, man. They robbing the fans of witnessing history, man. Yeah, I don't like it. Bro.
Yeah. I get it. I do understand that. I do understand that plight. I do understand it. But we are definitely getting robbed. And let's be clear. As we get into week 18, you can go ahead and cancel that MVP. He ain't getting it.
So, question for you. Do you think Saquon is a Hall of Famer right now?
Ooh, right now?
Right now.
I say no.
Okay. So I given it some thought, and I forget who it was. I think it might have been Chris Broussard that made this point on Twitter. and he agrees with us that Saquon should play to get the record. It'll be against his old team that, walked out on him and all that. And he said there could be Hall of Fame implications with the decision to sit Saquon Barkley.
Nah, I disagree with that.
You don't think if he broke this record, you don't think that kind of maybe gets him a little closer, maybe not there.
Obviously, it gets him closer, but I think he's going to play another 5 years. And if he plays another 5 years at 80% of this clip, he'll be a Hall of Famer when it's all said and done.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, and that's the hope too, because early in his career, he's had a bunch of injuries. I know that one year, and I'm trying to remember if it was the playoff year the Giants had where he had 2,000 scrimmage yards. So I'm trying to think who has multiple 2,000 scrimmage yards throughout their career.
Yeah, that's a tough question that I do not.
I know. It's definitely going to take some research. I'm not doing it right now, but it's something to really kind of think about, because to me, if you have multiple 2,000 scrimmage yards, whether it's running, receiving, you got to be at least in the conversation for the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, and maybe you're not a first ballot maybe you're not a first ballot because
that's true.
That type of thing. But I mean, if for the next 4 years he had 1,800 all-purpose yards, he got to be in the conversation.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he got to be in the conversation.
Yeah, that definitely.
Yeah. Like I said, maybe he's not a first ballot, but he certainly got to be in the conversation. I feel like we didn't had a lot of just regular season productive running backs make the Hall of Fame.
Right. That's true. And we've seen guys that have got 2,000 rushing yards but didn't necessarily make the Hall of Fame. Jamal Lewis is not in the Hall of Fame. Chris Johnson is not in the Hall of Fame. Derrick Henry and his career still has to play out, but we feel like he's going to be.
I'm about to say, but I feel like he's a Hall of Famer before Jamal Charles and before Chris Johnson.
Jamal Lewis. You mean?
Lewis, I'm sorry. I definitely think he's a Hall of Famer before those two.
But thinking about what Broussard said, though, Hall of Fame implications if he broke that record, which is a 40-year record. We mentioned the other guys that got 2,000 yards but didn't necessarily break the record. I don't know, man. If he plays Sunday and he breaks the record, to me,
I mean, definitely that's a big step.
He's a lock. Yeah.
He's a lock
for the Hall of Fame. I think he is.
Well, because if he, God forbid, I'm obviously not wishing it on him, but if he breaks the record and then comes back for the next 3 years and he's hurt or he's not playing well for whatever reason, I mean, you got that record.
Well, then yes, we would have to revisit the conversation.
Right.
For sure.
Right. But I think if he doesn't break the record, let's say he doesn't break the, well, he's not because he's not playing. Yeah. And then he has a not as good. So I know he crossed 2,000 all-purpose yards, but like I said, if he gets 18 the next year, 17 the next year, 14 that third year, and then another 15. You know what I'm saying? I think you are just as good as, if not better than, any of these other running backs that didn't make it so far, like the Jamal Lewis's and the Chris Johnsons. I think you're in that stratosphere, and Then the question asks, do you feel like Chris Johnson is a Hall of Famer one day? Do you feel like Jamal Lewis is a Hall of Famer one day? Yeah, and I don't know if I feel that way about Jamal Lewis. And
I don't feel that way about Chris Johnson, honestly.
Right. I don't know if I feel that way about Chris Johnson either.
Yeah.
So
But I think the one guy you may make the comparable to, when he's in that 2,000-yard rush club too, Terrell Davis rushed for 2,000 yards in that one season.
Right.
His career was kind of short, but he made the Hall of Fame.
I'm just asking. I think you agree with. I think it's a year for you too, like it is for me. Adrian Peterson is a Hall of Famer. Okay.
Yes.
So I'm
First
trying
ballot.
to think. Right. So that Adrian Peterson is up there with, I got, like the big dog running backs of NFL history.
Oh, yeah.
Is Terrell Davis up there with the big dog conversation, or is he a tier below Adrian Peterson? I say he's a tier below Adrian Peterson.
That's a good question.
I say
would
he's a
say
tier
right
below.
now he's a tier below.
Yeah. And it's not like he's about to play any more football. Adrian Peterson is up there with the big dogs. In my opinion.
Yeah. Like when you like the Barry Sanders and the Emmitt Smiths, he's up there with those.
I'm gonna keep it up. I mean, you gotta give Emmitt Smith the props because he got the records, but I don't put Emmitt Smith in that conversation.
Okay, so you got Emmitt at a different tier above.
I think Emmitt is the product of a amazing offensive line for the majority of his career. And
I've heard that before.
Yeah, I don't think Emmitt Smith is never like Emmitt Smith can shine Barry Sanders' shoes, in my opinion.
I've heard that a lot too,
in my opinion.
And,
like what I'm saying.
And I've heard from people say, had Barry Sanders not left the Lions earlier, than he did, and continued playing, he would have caught Emmitt Smith's all-time rushing record. So.
And I also believe that if Barry Sanders had that offensive line in Dallas, he would have had
that man might have had multiple 2,000 yards.
He would have had 30,000. That man might have had 30,000 30,000 career rushing yards, bro. Like, yeah, he can't. Yeah, I don't put Emmitt Smith with Barry Sanders. I don't put Emmitt Smith with the likes of like OJ. You know what I'm saying? I don't rest in peace OJ. I don't put them in them conversations. I don't.
Yeah. No, I got you. I got you. Shout out to our boy Relo in the IG live chat.
What up?
Man. And my cuz was in here too. Shout out to my cuz Wallace was up in here too.
What up?
Watching us on Facebook. All right, man. Let's get to it. It's week 18. I'm not going through the whole schedule because there's a lot of meaningless games this weekend, but there's a couple games that are really for all the marbles and, for seating and stuff like that. Vikings, Lions, 14-2 versus 14-2 in Detroit Sunday night. Where you at with it?
Detroit.
It's easy for you, right?
Yeah, like look again, no shade. Shout out to the governor. Shout out to the Minnesota Vikings. I get it. It's hard to say, and I know it sounds crazy. I don't believe them. I don't.
Wait, to do what? Because we're just talking about this game here.
Yeah, I get that, and we are just talking about this game.
Yeah,
I don't think Minnesota's better than the Eagles. I don't think they're better than the Lions, obviously. And I think if they ran into somebody like the Commanders, they could be upset. I don't believe the Vikings. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Which really you're saying you don't believe in Sam Darnold, because I think that's the consensus around, talking heads is that this is Sam Darnold's first year in the system. And shout out to him, bro, because he's been balling, man.
Yeah, like that's not taking nothing from what he's done.
Yeah, 35 touchdowns. I mean, legit conversations about them moving on from JJ McCarthy. Like,
yeah, right.
There's real conversations about this.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, would you do that?
Would I move on from JJ McCarthy
if you're the Vikings?
If I'm the Vikings, and I got a history of developing quarterbacks the way that I've done, I'll say this, because I don't think it's an easy decision to make.
No,
because you can make the case, and you could say, hey, JJ, we drafted you in the first round. You're our guy. We're gonna go with you. You're under a great offensive system. I wouldn't be mad at it if they said, look, Darnold, we're gonna give you a bag. You're our guy moving forward. I wouldn't be mad either.
Because Sam Darnold is not old, right?
No, listen. Same draft class as Lamar, Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield.
Right. Yeah. I was making sure I wasn't tripping. He's not old. So you can basically give him a Baker Mayfield contract and he's like years younger than Baker Mayfield. And you could lock him in for
couple, maybe a year younger.
Okay,
Again, they're in the same draft
right.
class.
Yeah, right.
Remember, they're in the same draft class.
Right. But my point is that you got a franchise quarterback for the next 3, 4, maybe 5 years,
right?
At like $30 million because
if you give him a Baker-like contract,
right?
Yes.
And I think he takes it based on what he's done before. Like his stock wasn't high.
Right.
It's high right now, obviously. But
it's the system too.
Right. It's that thing.
Because I think if Darnold goes, let's say Darnold goes to the Giants, he's not doing that for the Giants what he did this year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I'm Sam Darnold, I wouldn't want to go anywhere. Let me just be clear about that.
Right. And that's more reason why they could lowball them.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So because I'm thinking about the money aspect of it also, because I still need to be able to build a team around him so that we can compete for, a championship. But honestly, whatever decision they make, I mean, I can't, fault them for going either way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really it's going to be judged.
If you're the GM,
that
what you
following
do?
year.
If you're the GM, what you do right now?
Oh, if I'm the GM,
this offseason.
I'm bringing Darnold in the office and I'm saying here's $28 million a year contract. 4 or 5, maybe 4 years. I'll say 4 years, $28 million. Take it or leave it. That's what I'm doing with Sam Darnold.
Are you telling him he's the starter?
Absolutely.
So what are you telling JJ McCarthy?
Hey JJ, we're gonna find a good trade package for you. We're gonna get you to a team that is going, get you in the right situation.
So you don't try to hit him with the Sam Darnold's going to teach you?
Well, no, because if I'm JJ McCarthy, I'm like, wait, you want me to back up Sam Darnold after you just giving him a 4-year contract? Nah, get me up out of here. Nah.
But if you're the GM, though.
Oh, if I'm the general manager, I'm making phone calls to trade him.
Right, but you're only trading him because you don't feel like JJ McCarthy would want to do that. If I'm the GM, I'm trying to say, hey, bruh, hey, you see what Jordan Love? You see what Jordan Love
for
doing.
Protection. You trying to
see what Jordan Love doing, right? Yeah, you see what he's doing, right? Like he sat for 3-4 years, came out smoking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying. I'm trying
to.
The
GM could sell that. The GM could sell that. I get that part.
If he say no, he say
right.
But if he says no, the leverage is in your hands. He can't go nowhere. All he could do is sit there and bitch about him being on the bench.
Sure. Or he can not show up either. But that's his prerogative.
He ain't even got enough money to not show up.
But really, when you think about it, I think a general manager would be thinking about trade compensation, and that's going to help build the team around Sam Darnold. So not only do you give Darnold a lucrative contract, a very team-friendly contract, you also make calls and see what teams are willing to give up for. Look, I'm looking at the standings, bro. There's about 10 teams that's got at least 12 losses and are looking for some quarterbacks. So somebody is going to want JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, but the other issue is that we don't know who JJ McCarthy is as a quarterback yet. So, how much? So what is a team, a 12-loss team?
You're not getting a first rounder for him. You're not getting a first rounder for him.
I don't think you're getting a second rounder for him.
Yeah, probably not. At best third. You're talking third round pick at best.
And if I'm calling about JJ McCarthy, I'm like, bro, like I don't know. If I'm a 12-loss team, if I'm the New York, who got 12 losses? The Giants got 12 losses. I'm sure.
The Giants got 12 losses. The Jets got 12. New England, even though I don't think they're gonna be,
they're definitely not. Yeah.
Jacksonville.
No,
there's question marks,
but they're not. They're
not.
Yeah.
Raiders.
Okay, Raiders.
Cleveland.
Raiders, Giants. Cleveland's there though, but Cleveland's there.
Who else? Panthers, but they're not going to do it.
They're not doing
it. Saints has got 11 losses.
Saints ain't doing it though.
You don't think? Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's
I
about
like
it.
I like the Raiders maybe more than anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Raiders and certainly the Giants are obvious.
Right.
But certainly the Raiders, I like that idea.
Because Cam is coming out and Shador.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about Jalen Milroe yet, but it's definitely going to be those two guys coming out, and you got a bunch of bad teams that there's more than two teams that's going to be looking for a quarterback.
Yeah.
So
to get a young boy, who not necessarily been on the field, but at least seeing how these things work. Like, but I'm still, hey man, I give you a third rounder, man. Let me get Jay.
Because who has the leverage in that situation? Let's say you're the Jets and you're looking at JJ McCarthy and you're the Vikings GM, like on the phone call, who has the leverage in that situation?
The Vikings still have the leverage.
Right.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Vikings general manager, I'm gonna start with I'm gonna go crazy. I'm gonna start.
Yeah, true. You should talk crazy. I agree with that.
I'm gonna talk crazy. And then if the Jets are dumb enough to be like, hey, I got you, then you make the deal. You know what I mean?
Give me Garrett Wilson. You give me Garrett Wilson, I do even swap Garrett Wilson for JJ McCarthy. I know that's the over conversation, but
sure. I'm just thinking about that offense.
Yeah,
Garrett Wilson and Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. I'm thinking about that, but that's unrealistic.
yeah. But we were picking games. I ain't mean to go into a
it's cool. It's cool. But I like you. I think this is easy for me, even with the defense that Detroit's been playing lately, with the injuries and stuff like that. Detroit's gonna win. This is to me America's team right now. They've been talked about that in that way all year long, and I don't think, and I'm putting my conspiracy theorist hat on. I hope it's a clean game, but I think the Vikings might get a call or two not in their favor. And if you think the league gonna let Brian Flores, a guy that sued them, take out their America's team out like that, nah. But I like that over under. Was it, I think 56? I think 56 and a half is like the over under. I'd go over. I think it's gonna be fireworks, bro. That game I think goes into the 60s.
Interesting.
I think that game goes into the 60s, bro.
Interesting.
Detroit, they can't defend right now. But Detroit's offense has been putting up 30, 40 points a game. So
yeah. But I mean, then you would say that Minnesota can defend. You would say
they can, but that earlier matchup in the year, they was able to put up 30 on that defense.
That's true.
Minnesota.
Minnesota, yeah.
And they know how to beat that blitz very well. So, maybe Brian Flores changes some things up. Maybe he doesn't blitz as much, but there's history there.
Yeah, I agree.
There's history there for sure. So I got a question for you. Got these AFC North matchups on Saturday. Me personally, I didn't like the fact that they moved our game to the Saturday slot. But I get it because they're trying to keep all these teams, competitive. I know the Bengals got something to play for.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh has something to play for. The Ravens have something to play for. Ravens win the division, and then it's Pittsburgh-Cincinnati game. I got to think Mike Tomlin is not calling the dogs off. He's playing to win. I got to think that, right?
Yeah, I think so too. We're playing to win because, one, we haven't played good in 3 weeks, and 4 out of 5 games. So, we need to be playing.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be playing. Ain't no Nova with this like saying we ain't got no time to be resting nobody. And TJ Watt been hurt all year. Apparently his left thumb or right thumb been broken all year.
Mm-hmm.
We bumped him. Hey, we ain't got time for that. Let's go on and play some football.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to open this clip, but today I guess they had a presser with the team and stuff, and they were asking George Pickens about the chemistry between him and Russ, and I don't know if you was able to catch that.
I didn't, but look, I know they asked him about that route that he didn't run that caused the interception over the red zone. He was trying to, because he didn't draw the safety in the Chiefs game, and he didn't respond. Like he didn't reply to the questions that referred to him that running routes. Look, here's the truth about George Pickens, and it's like good. It's he got grown up to do, and this ain't nothing new. It ain't nothing that we haven't known and discussed since he's been in the league, and we willingly overlook it because when he's on, and he's literally unstoppable when he's on. But look, man, I feel like that Kansas City game was at one point a winnable game, and we just started falling off the rails, and hey, that doesn't help. That George Pickens shit don't help.
Right. But I hear you though. They got to play. They just to kind of get some rhythm. Going. Yeah. And there is incentive to knocking the Bengals off. They've been hot as of late.
Sure.
The defense has played a little bit better. I think the league wants them to get in, because of the. So who is it? It's them.
Look, Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow. You want Joe Burrow in the playoffs,
right? But I'm saying between those teams that are going for that final wild card spot, between them, Miami, and the Broncos, I think everybody wants to see Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase get that final spot. The problem is that they don't control their own destiny. They need Miami to lose to the Jets, and they need the Chiefs to beat Denver on Sunday. So. And we already know, the Chiefs is kind of laying down, some players and stuff. So, good luck with that if you're a Bengals fan hoping to, get in the playoffs. Miami is supposed to be starting Tyler Huntley on Sunday.
Who?
Tyler Huntley.
No, Miami.
Miami is.
I forgot he was even over there.
Yeah. Bro, I turned the game on the other day. They was playing the Browns. I was like, what the hell happened to Tua? And sure enough, Tyler Huntley was out there playing. So, I mean, if you're the Bengals, maybe there's some hope, because I don't believe in Tyler Huntley like that. But they are playing the Jets, so you never know there.
Never know.
You never know there. And I think the other thing they have to figure out, the NFC South, I got Tampa winning it.
Yeah,
at this point,
it's a wrap. Yeah, it's a wrap.
So yeah. It's pretty much a wrap there for that. I just got a couple more things, man. Rest in peace, Greg Gumbel.
Yeah.
First Black broadcaster to broadcast the Super Bowl a few years ago. Worked for CBS, worked for NBC, and all that. So, I think he was 78 years old, and he had stopped calling games for about maybe a couple of years and stuff like that. So, and then he also did some work with the NCAA tournament as well. So, rest in peace to him.
Yep.
And rest in peace, Ricky Henderson.
Yeah, for sure. Rest in peace.
Hall of Fame player for sure.
Yeah. Condolences to the family.
Yep. Hey, do me a favor, close us out.
Hey, listen here, man. First of all, we appreciate all the listeners, all the supporters, all those things. But hold on. Before I close out, you good, man? You okay?
I'm trying to be, but
I bet. All right, say less. All right. We appreciate all the listeners, everybody who tuned in. Make sure y'all follow us on Instagram at Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. Make sure you follow us on Twitter at Barbershop SPOR2. You can follow me at Maestro Styles on everywhere. Make sure you tap into the Twitch, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, anywhere you can find Barbershop Sports Talk Podcast. We will be there. If you missed the live show, make sure you tune in on all the podcast platforms, whether that's Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, iHeart Music, all the lovely things, man. Hey, look, we appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. For Trey Frazier, this is Maestro. I don't know how to sign out because normally you do the first part and I do the second part. So I'm gonna need you to do that before.
Well, love, peace, and happiness to everybody out there. Again, happy New Year, happy 2025.
For sure.
Big things coming up this year. But as always, folks, mind your damn business.
Drink some water.
Oh yeah, we got him. Trey Frazier and Maestro Styles, you know we got one. Right back like we left something. We don't duck smoke, we want all of it. So line them up, Trey sharp with the blade, you know we sizing it up. I'm quick to catch the fade, you know Styles making the cut. Cause we coming out clean every time that we showing up.
It's gonna be called The Barbershop.